What's going on, podcasters and YouTubers? This is Javier, one of your hosts from the Real Fan Review. And today with me, we got my boy, Sanj.
Good evening, everybody. As always, it's a pleasure to be with you.
We got our man in the chair, Al.
How's it going, everybody?
Yes, sir. And we got the three of us today. B's doing some work-related issues, so we'll wish B good luck this week, man. It's crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, today we will give you our thoughts on the Mortal Kombat trailer that just came out this past week. We got a rumor for the Fantastic Four. We'll see what the fellas think about that. And then we also got some reviews today. We got Judas and the Black Messiah from me and Sanj, and then Al caught something on Netflix there, so we'll talk about that. And then finally, we'll end off the podcast this week with that WandaVision episode 7, of course. So let's get right into the news of this week. Let's go right into that Mortal Kombat trailer that came out that we were all hoping to see something soon. People started getting a little bit worried because it's like, hey, if it's supposed to come out like at the time it was supposed to come out, I believe, in January or February, and there was no trailer. Mm-hmm. They pushed the movie back till, I believe, May now?
No, I think April.
April, okay. And they finally released the trailer this week, and man, was I pleasantly surprised. I did not expect to see something that good. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah,
it was Mortal Kombat, you know, especially when the last few Mortal Kombats haven't been that great, you know. But Sanj, did you get a chance to watch the trailer, and what'd you think of it?
I did, and I thought it was great. I feel like they're taking it seriously. Like, you know, Mortal Kombat obviously was a we grew up with it as a video game at first, and then they've had some Mortal Kombat movies, but it's kind of like how old school superheroes movies used to be really cheesy, really campy. So those like old Mortal Kombat movies and the Street Fighter movies were kind of like that. And then, when Marvel, came along and started doing, the superheroes movies correctly, making them real dramatic movies and taking them very seriously, taking the source material and taking it seriously and making it into serious movies, it just took off from there. So it looks to me like they're finally doing that with Mortal Kombat, and it looks incredible.
Absolutely, man. And Al, did you get a chance to watch the trailer there?
Yeah, same thing, man. The trailer was kind of crazy. Like Sanj just said, they're taking it a little serious. But I also think they're doing the whole universe thing, like what Marvel did as well. Like it seems like they changed the backstories as much as they could to intertwine them a little more. Because now you have Sub-Zero being the cause of Jax's arms being gone. And just the way they're doing the scenes. Like I don't know if you guys caught it. Sub-Zero was fighting a Scorpion, and he stabbed him, and the blood came up. He froze the blood and used that as a weapon. I was like, what?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy.
Listen,
yeah,
they had me when he froze Jax's shotgun blast. They had the buckshot, so the buckshots are the little beaties going all over the place, and you just saw them slowly going towards his face, and he kind of like looking at it. Amazing, man. Yeah, man, and just like seeing the other characters look like themselves, and it's real. Only competition is Mortal Kombat 1 from the 80s, so it's like 90s even. I'm not even sure.
Okay, I don't remember. Yeah,
and to be honest, if you watch it again, like there's something good about it. There's some campiness to it, which makes it fun to watch, and seeing Sub-Zero and Scorpion go at it, of course, is amazing. But then after that, you don't really care for it much. This, again, like you guys just said, it looks a little bit like they're more taking it seriously. Is there anything that stood out to you, Sanj, in the trailer about the Mortal Kombat movie?
Just the visuals, like you said, of them taking, stabbing somebody and taking the blood and freezing it and making it into a weapon, and using the beads from buckshot. Just those visuals, the time it takes to think up of a scene like that and take you inside those scenes, like how the Matrix took us inside scenes and gave us really different views of things and gave us something new to look at. That really stood out to me. So I'm just excited. I can't wait to see it and see how they put the story on that, because before it felt like they were trying to put a video game onto the big screen with real people. That's how those movies felt, and this does not feel like that at all.
Gotcha, man. And Al, man, what's your I guess your thoughts on this being one of the first HBO Max movies that's going to actually kill it?
it'll be a good test to see if this, I guess, experiment that they're doing this year is going to pay off. Not only for them, but for the movie companies, that are pushing these movies out. Because you can tell they put a lot of money into this one, a lot of attempt to really have this be a movie that was going to have a draw. So to have it released in theater and on HBO Max, where probably the majority of the people are going to watch it on HBO Max, it's going to be a good demonstration of the validity of the experiment of doing it especially since they're doing it for an entire year. Let's see how this one does in terms of drawing subscribers and paying off for them, because I'd love to see it continue.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. So we're looking forward to that Mortal Kombat movie. And of course, once that movie does come out, we'll be here with a review of it, because we're definitely watching it, of course.
Yeah.
Movie fans, unite. Yeah, man. And then another bit of news. We don't usually talk about rumors, but this one's kind of a big rumor out there, and I saw it going around Twitter, Instagram, and different other places and stuff like that. So there's a rumor going around right now that Jennifer Lawrence, big time movie star, great actress, played Mystique in the X-Men franchise from Fox, is being casted, or rumored to be casted, in the Fantastic Four as Susan Storm, the Invisible Woman. Now, I know how I feel about this. Me personally, I feel like she didn't take Mystique that seriously. There was things that she did on the side to not be in the Mystique makeup a lot, and then in the movies, it almost looked like she was giving like a half-hearted performance towards the end of the X-Men franchise there. So there's a lot of little black blood with the X-Men fans out there with Jennifer Lawrence. Now, I get that Marvel Studios is something different. Al, what's your thoughts on her possibly playing Susan Storm?
See, I haven't heard that name, so this is the actual first time I'm hearing of her name. But I'm not as big of an actress as she is, and a name and a draw. Like, I'm not impressed with her as a casting. I'd rather see somebody different, somebody that could maybe bring a little bit more weight. Because as well as she's done in her roles, she hasn't really wowed me to be like, oh wow, okay, she's bringing a lot to this role. I mean, granted, a lot of people will write it off saying, oh well, it's just a comic book character. But still, when you look at the caliber of actors that they've surrounded the universe with, in terms of the MCU, like, I would have liked to have seen a different person cast in the role. Like, I liked Emily Blunt. Like, I don't know if John Krasinski was coming in, his wife Emily Blunt was going to come in as the lead, the female lead. So I was actually liking that rumor so much. I just already in my head had them in the role. So
yeah. Well, we still got hope. Yeah, how about yourself, Sanj? Anything? I know you're a big fan of Jennifer Lawrence. You've mentioned it before in the past that you like her roles in movies.
I do. I am a big Jennifer Lawrence fan, but I don't like her for this role. I don't think the roles that she's played and what she brings to the table is not Sue Storm. Sue Storm is a more reserved character, kind of. How do I explain it? She's kind of, I don't want to say she's a background character, because she's not a background character, but she's more of a quiet strength type of character, which balances out Reed Richards a lot. So, and that's not what Jennifer Lawrence is used to playing. Now she does have a lot of versatility as an actress, but I haven't really seen her in those types of roles. She's always a very, very strong, very in your face warrior type female lead in any movie that she's played, and that's not the Sue Storm character that I know. So it's going to be interesting if she is in fact cast as Sue Storm, but she's not. I'm with Al. She's not who I would picture in the role.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like what I was saying regarding Emily Blunt, that rumor has been going on for so long now that I've already thought that John Krasinski had the role, and she is Invisible Woman as well, Emily Blunt. But I wouldn't put it past her playing Susan Storm if they were to change the character up. Sanj said pretty much what I thought about Susan Storm as a character in the comic books. She is not a background character; she is a main character. But they put a lot of a lot of focus on Mr. Fantastic, Human Torch, Thing, and stuff like that. But that was typical back in the days of ways of writing. I think there's ways to make that character strong and be the lead as well. So I'm hoping that they do change it up a little bit. But again, my feelings on it, Jennifer Lawrence kind of had her chance with the comic book genre, and I can kind of understand because I've heard that she was in makeup for like what, to put the makeup on was like 6 or 4 hours, and then do the acting all day long, then another 3 hours to take the makeup on and do it again the next day can probably be very, very annoying. So Susan Storm is not allowed to makeup. It's invisible. So yeah, she's just invisible. So
I mean, but then to be fair, the two actresses that they had playing Sue Storm before, Jessica Alba and Kate Mara, looked the part really well. And then the Fantastic Four movies really didn't work out. So,
right.
So, what do I know?
Yeah, listen, we're hoping for the best for the franchise because I think we all agree in Kevin Feige's hand, in the MCU's hand, in Disney's hands, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. It's gonna be fantastic. No plug. So guys, listen, that's the news for this week. Listen, what's your thoughts on those rumors? Are you interested in seeing Jennifer Lawrence play as Susan Storm, or are you not? And what's your thoughts on the Mortal Kombat trailer? If you have any comments, just let us know down below in the comment section of the YouTube, or if you're listening on the podcast, email us at therealfanreview@gmail.com and let us know what you think. Now we're going to go into a section we normally go into. We didn't do it for a while. We did it last week, and we're bringing it back this week. We're going to go into those movies that we've seen this week to tell you if we recommend them or not. And this week, me and Sanj actually got a chance to watch Judas and the Black Messiah, featuring Daniel Kaluuya. Is it Kaluuya? K-U-U?
Kaluuya.
And also, I can't remember the first name, but I think it's Stan Keith is the last name of the other actor. Lakeith Stan Keith. So, we had those two great actors there, and in this movie called Judas and the Black Messiah. Now, Sanj, I'll let you take the lead on this. What was your thoughts on the movie, and how'd you feel about it?
But from the two leads, you had two great performances from the two very powerful, very believable as those characters. Like I felt like they really were those characters. Even at the end when they showed the clip of the actual of the actual guy, the resemblances were striking, and how they carried themselves in mannerism, just even from the little bit that you got. But I mean, the story itself, my wife and I saw it together. She was really excited to watch it too because she had just read the biography of Fred Hampton as well. It's called The Assassination of Fred Hampton. So she was really excited to see the movie, to see how they adapted it to film. And without giving away too much of the story, it was just an incredibly powerful story that kind of makes you angry. It doesn't, it really scares you at the same time.
Absolutely, man. I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a good movie as far as like the acting wise. I thought Daniel Kaluuya there killed it as Fred Hampton. The speeches that he made, the way that he invoked his character basically was just absolutely amazing. I mean, he almost stole the entire movie himself. So I thought it was a really good movie. I found it more of like, not that it wasn't a good movie, but I found it more of like a historical movie for me to watch to learn something rather than to be entertained by it. Because when it came to the entertainment of it, I guess because my feelings were into it a little bit, it was like more like, this is not entertainment. This happened to somebody. This happened at a point in time. And it's like, wow, this is crazy, and to learn a little bit more about the Black Panther Party, what they stood for and what they were trying to accomplish, the things that they were doing in the background. It was a little bit insane and intense there. And to see the way that, of course, if, this Fred Hampton was a real person, so we know his ending is it wasn't good. I mean, if you saw the trial of the Chicago 7, they kind of touched upon what happened to Fred Hampton in that movie as well, which is funny because they referenced the trial also in this movie too. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But
what's crazy too is that he was only 21 years old.
Yes, I was about to say that, man. I mean, when you find out that this man was 21 years old and the power that he had of understanding people not just his people, but the people, the community, and other
How
communities.
he got, like basically a white nationalist group to join with them. He was weaving everybody together. He had
Yeah.
the Latino groups together. He was putting together the groups of African Americans that were at odds with each other, and then going down to the white nationalists too, and saying, hey, we're all in this together, because if you look at your situation and you look at our situation, we're in the same situation.
Yeah.
And to me, that's incredible. I think that's what's missing. That part of it is what's missing from all of our discourse today.
Yeah.
He
He changed it from racism. Yeah, he changed it from racism to class. It's like
it's economics.
Yeah.
That's how he approached it, and he was absolutely right.
Yeah, man, it was really, really a good watch. I was. It's funny because me and my wife have been going back and forth about the movie, and I've been just trying to go back and forth between telling people that I don't think they should rush to go see it, or they should see it, and she has been wholehearted on you have to see it or you should see it for the historical references and to learn about things that have happened in this country not too long ago. This is 1970s. You know what I mean? So,
what would be your reason to not rush and go see it?
The only reason why was as far as just entertainment.
Oh, okay,
I don't think
you.
I would watch this movie again. Like it affected me, and again, watching Fred Hampton's character on screen was amazing. But as far as the movie being something like, oh, that was awesome, or yeah, I need to see that again. Yeah, nah, man, I felt terrible at the end watching that movie. Seeing the way that I'll give like a little spoiler warning for what I'm about to say, because I don't think I can make my point without saying it. So, real spoiler warning. I mean, we all know Fred Hampton passes away in this movie, but it's just how,
he's assassinated.
Yeah, he's assassinated, and it hurts to know that him going to jail at the end of the movie wasn't enough for the government, the country, the state. Him going to jail wasn't enough. They had to take him out. That is not entertainment to me. I'm not going to cheer that, and I don't know. Just that sucks.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
So
I am in agreement with your wife in saying that you should rush out and go see it, not to be entertained by it, but to be informed by it. And I have no problem cheering the performance though.
Oh yeah, they killed it.
Yeah,
they killed it. They killed it. Absolutely killed it, man. So again, I'm gonna side with the wife and Sanj. I'm gonna say you should see it as well. I was in to say don't rush to see it because I won't watch it again, but when you think about all the stuff that you see in there, yeah, maybe you should see it. Yeah. Sanj, yourself? Yeah.
You should rush and go see it. Make sure you do.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's on HBOMax too. So, get your HBOMax on there. All right. So there you go with Judas and the Black Messiah. And then Al, you said you had a chance to watch a Netflix show this week. What was the show that you binged out there?
Yeah, my wife and I binged Beyond Her Eyes on Netflix.
Beyond Her Eyes, okay.
Yeah, it was like one of those things where you say, all right, it looks pretty interesting given the premise that they and the synopsis that they tell you. But it's basically turns into a story, and there's an angle to the story that is just at the end. You're like, wow. It was like my wife was like, yo, you got to tell the guys to watch this show because of the fact that it's just messed up on a couple of levels when you think of what ends up happening. I mean, the overarching story is there's an affair. There's a female lead that she not only has an affair with the husband, but she then befriends the wife. And it's like the dynamic of the three of them and so forth. But then as you get further into the story, it turns into a twist that I was just upset with the ending, to put it this way.
It's like, you know what? You're trying not to give it away, but it sounds like it's got you messed up, bro.
You know what it is? The twist.
Get it off your shoulders, Al.
No, it's like I'm telling you, there's nothing that's going to prepare you for the twist. It's not like don't get me wrong. It's not too over the top. It's not, but the twist is so out there that it's a creative twist. It's one that you would have never thought. You would never have thought it up. So when it actually plays out, you're like, oh shit. And that's why I say like it's just such a messed up ending that it was like I was like, yo, nah, I don't like this ending. But
I don't
definitely
like
go watch.
no more.
Yeah, nah, okay, but definitely watch it. It's a good movie. It's not a good movie. It's a good show. It's a 6 episode limited series. So altogether, you think about
Is it beyond her eyes or behind her eyes? Because I've
behind
seen
her eye. Yeah, it might
behind
be,
her. Okay, all right.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. Definitely go watch. Yeah, go check that out when you got some time.
All right. Behind her eyes goes on the list, and everybody, you have been made aware. Behind her
You've been
eyes,
put on
Judas,
notice.
and Judas
It's
and the
gonna
Black
leave you. It's
Messiah.
gonna leave you fucked up.
Al's still mad.
So I also caught you know that Welcome to Blumhouse, those series of movies that are coming out. There's horror movies. So we my wife and I watched The Lie, the first one, last night. And I'm not gonna give away anything, but it's horror in a way that it's real. And it can actually happen. It's not like supernatural horror.
Uh-huh.
It's like real life human nature horror. And I think and it was great. It was great.
Oh, wow.
And then the twist, obviously I saw the twist coming. But nevertheless, right? When it happens and everything unravels or everything, everything comes out, you're just like, yo, fuck.
Yeah, listen, Blumhouse, their writing is ridiculous.
And the performances by the actors. Oh my god, we got a Skarsgård in there and everything. So it's gonna be good if you get a Skarsgård in there. But
All right.
All
right, so The Lie. Now, if I'm right, that's on Amazon, right?
It is on Amazon Prime. That is
Okay.
Yes. So if
All
you
right.
have, for all of you that have Amazon Prime, you have access to Prime Video as well, and they're putting out a lot of stuff. Everybody's putting out a lot of stuff, so go get it. Just
Yeah,
watch it.
man.
It's free, and it's crazy, crazy. You see it, especially. I just give you one hit. It's because I'm a parent. That's all I'm gonna give you. It's because I'm a parent, and then what they do. Oh my god, crazy, crazy.
Oh my God, guys!
Makes you ask yourself a lot of questions about yourself and your parenting.
Now I gotta watch it. You sold it. Both of you guys sold those two movies and shows. So yes, it's happening. The Lie, Behind Her Eyes. Yes. Oh man. So
Jennifer Lawrence as Sue Storm? No. Sorry, Jennifer Lawrence. We're just having jokes. Sorry, we're not coming at you.
So you guys hear it, man. These are the things you guys should look out for this week. If you got nothing to do or you want something to watch, you got these 3 options right there for you guys, and hopefully you enjoy them. And let us know what you think of those movies or those shows if you get a chance to watch them. You know where to send it. Right below. So last thing we're going to talk about, guys, today is going to be that WandaVision episode 7, our weekly talk of WandaVision, and we're coming to a close, guys. We got 2 more episodes. We got this Friday and next Friday, but let's talk about this past Friday first.
Before you get into it, did you guys check the Marvel calendar there? We have something from Marvel every week this year, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whether it be an episode of a show, whether like Loki or Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or like or the movie with Scarlett Johansson's character, Black Widow. See, it's been so long now. I'm already forgetting characters. There's so much to keep track of, right? The Black Widow movie coming out. So we have something from Marvel every week this year.
Yeah.
Just saying. Just putting it out there. Check the calendar.
Check the calendar, people. So listen, let's get right into that WandaVision. Spoiler warning ahead of time. You guys already know we're going to get into spoilers. And let's get right into this WandaVision episode 7, man. We start off with our lead, Miss Maximoff there, not being able to control it, man. She's losing control of either the powers or whatever's happening around her. She's not able to control it. The kids can't keep their video games in their hands. It went from a Wii to a GameCube. And when I saw the Uno card, Atari.
And then ultimately, finally, Uno.
That was funny. That was funny when they switched it up to Uno. Yeah.
Oh man! And then as soon as I saw the way she was talking to the camera, the first thing I said, I was like, "Oh, this is Modern Family." This is
Yeah,
Modern
man.
Family. Oh man, so at first I was like, oh, we're doing a Modern Family episode, and then we get the freaking opening to the show, the opening of the WandaVision show,
Yeah.
and it's Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
oh,
I like. Which show is it? That's what I thought. I said, which show is this? You know,
But what was your guys' thoughts, man, with the whole opening theme and the beginning of their Al? What was your thoughts on like the whole first half of this episode there?
no, kid, just the way they did the intro, I thought it was gonna be like, are they gonna do a comedy episode? Because like that's what they had me expecting with the like you said, with the Office intro, the music and everything, and then the breaking the fourth wall. Obviously, it's the title, but like doing it Modern Family style, and that's one of my favorite shows. So I was just on board, definitely for the way they were doing this episode.
Absolutely, man. Sanj, what was your thoughts when you saw everything the way that was happening and all that stuff?
I thought it was really funny. I thought they were gonna do like a comedy episode or something like that, but then it became evident that they were gonna give us some serious backstory or continuation to the story. But I thought it was clever the way the way they set it up. Wrong. Yeah,
Wrong.
but it was very clever how they set it up. And like even the part where she says, "What keeps thinking, am I right?" She did.
I'm all right.
Just another case of the Mondays. Am I right? Like, okay.
Oh man. And I think one of the first things that we kind of figured out or saw in this episode, which is still a freaking question mark, is, she says to the kids, because they were asking like, where's dad? She's like, well, if he doesn't want to be here, can't force him to be here.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I was like, oh shit.
When
She
she
gave
said
up on Vision.
But like knowing the character and knowing the story too, like for the first time,
Yeah.
she's exhausted. Like, just like emotionally and physically exhausted, from doing all this stuff. And then when she just says that, he's like, I can't force him to be here if he doesn't want to be here. Like, and I'm just like, I felt so sad for her in that.
Well, I was going to ask you, Sanj, did you take that as her just like her just giving up, depression, or like losing control, or what'd you take that as when she was like kind of just giving up?
I don't think she's giving up. I think she's having a low moment because we all have that, right? With everything going on, like none of it, you never really give up, but you do have those days when you're just like, I don't want to do this today. I just don't want to do this. And I think that's where she's at. She's having a day where she's like, I'm trying everything I can. Nothing's working. Everything's out of control. And and on top of it, he doesn't want to be here. So you know what? Fine. You don't want to be here? I can't make you be here. So I'm just gonna do nothing today. I'm gonna pawn my kids off. I'm just gonna sit and do nothing. How about that? So I think she's just having a day, but you can it does come through how just emotionally and physically exhausted she is.
Yeah, I mean, Al, what did you take from that? Also, man, did you find it more of her being like just absolutely done, especially after the last episode?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like she was like fatigued. Just I didn't think she had given up, but she was not in the, like her filter was gone. Because like there was a couple of comments that she made, like, well, if your dad don't want to be here, I can't make him. At one point, she almost made it sound like she felt like everything was meaningless. And even she went like, oh, I went a little dark there. Like, so she just wasn't like, it was just coming out however it came out. She wasn't caring anymore. She was just, it is what it is, kind of in her mindset, so to speak. So it was just weird to see that she was now letting it affect the kids as well. Like she wasn't even caring about the kids to the point where, she recognized that when Agnes came, she had to let her take them because she was in no mindset to be around anybody.
She had nothing to give at that moment, man.
Yeah.
It was insane. Yeah. But, it's funny because as soon as Agatha was like, I'll help you with the kids. This whole time I've been going back and forth whether Agatha is somebody or not. Or Agnes, excuse me. If Agnes is somebody or not. And I kept saying to myself, nah, she's nobody. But then when she took the kids, I did go like, hey, she just took the kids to the house and no problem. I'm like, she is being helpful and she has been just coming in at the right time to help her out, Wanda out. So I was like, but it did like for a second, I'm like, she just took the kids out of the house, man. Like,
yeah.
Okay. And we'll get into that later on, whatever happens from there. But then we get from her point of view, now we go to our sword people and, the people outside of the Vex there, the Hex. And we see the director getting ready to put in he says that he's ready to go at night. What does he mean? I don't know what he's trying to do. If he's going to throw a bomb at there, is he going to try to attempt to go in with the military? I guess he doesn't know that they turn into clowns. So, it's insane. And then we also get something that I think a lot of people took the wrong way. And this is the scene now where we go to Tiana Paris's character, which is Monica Rambeau. And she's going to meet up with the team that's helping her out, which is supposed to be the engineer. And I think a lot of people misunderstood what happened. And there's a lot of I don't really want to say anger because everyone loves the WandaVision show. But there's been a lot of hate, people were let down that the engineer was nobody. And I got to tell you guys, I don't think we met the engineer in this episode. I think this was a team that works with her engineer. And I think people took it the wrong way. I was going to say at first, Sanjay got it right. He said it was a her. But then when I watched it for a second time, I didn't hear her call the person the engineer. It was just a team of people that were helping her out. And it was, I guess we still have a wait to see maybe who the engineer is. But a lot of people have given up on the engineer thinking that this was them. And Al, did you get a sense that anything with that?
It was just confusing because the language made it sound like she was meeting whoever that engineer
right?
is.
Yeah. Me too.
So I was a little, okay. So I was a little thrown off when she showed up and it was just a team. So I was like, because she even said, I think last episode, oh, he's here. We just got to go meet him over the ridge.
She didn't say a gender. She didn't use a gender pronoun. She just said, my guy.
Nah, I could have sworn she said so.
Anyway, she didn't say he. No, she said my guy.
Yeah, whatever the language was, I assumed that whoever it was that she was meeting that person. I didn't think it was going to be anybody but the person. Maybe their team, them and their team, but there was definitely going to be whoever she was reaching out to. So to not get that payout felt a little weird for the scene. But from what I can only imagine is that is going to be this big cameo that everybody's talking about. And you can't have that now. It's either going to be next episode or episode 9. So it just made me, realize that, okay, they're pushing out the payoff for who this engineer is later into the episodes.
Yeah, and it makes sense to leave it for something towards the end to be like, oh, shit. And then, Sanj, man, you see this new machine that they bring out for them to attempt to get in and all this stuff like that. And it still doesn't fucking work, man. But then, Sanj, it doesn't work.
I half expected the thing to transform into Optimus Prime or something like that. I really thought it was some version of Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's a truck. Please be Optimus Prime. Please be Optimus Prime. No.
But, Sanj, we get something else instead, man. We may not get Optimus, but we do get a new hero, it looks like it, man. I mean, what's your thoughts on Monica Rambeau?
We've been waiting for the hints have been dropping about, her DNA being rewritten and, she had messed with the stone before and everything. So the hints are being dropped. And now that scene where she comes through and, her eyes are a different color and she's seeing, the entire electromagnetic spectrum as just, instead of just visible light, for a second, then she goes back to normal. But then when Wanda tries to do her again, and then she comes down, she's just like, listen, I got powers too. And I'm here trying to help you. That was crazy. So that was a big payoff for the episode. Yeah. So that was really cool. I want to see what she does with those powers and what those powers are.
Right, definitely, because they really didn't show much besides her protecting herself from a big fall, also seeing the different spectrum of light, which I think just leads to her name not being Photon, but it'll most likely be Spectrum, right?
Yeah. Right. She did the superhero landing. You saw that, though.
Yes. Oh, you got to do it. You
got to do it. She nailed it. Totally nailed it. 10.
Yeah, that was awesome, man. And then we also get a little look to see what's going on with Vision, because when we last left him, he was falling into pieces on the floor, and he's waking up and he sees the circus going on around him. And it's kind of funny because this is when they've been pretty much saying it to our faces that this is not the Vision we all know, because he doesn't have those memories. This is basically a new character that just knows that he's in love with Wanda, or he just wants to continue this life with Wanda, but he really doesn't remember anything else. And he links up with Darcy, in the show there, Dr. Darcy. I forgot her last name on there, but and she's kind of giving him like a replay of everything that's going on, how he became, Vision, from Jarvis to Vision, from Ultron to Vision as well, and he's learning about the stuff. And I think one of the things that hit me was he was saying, like, I think he was reflecting on Wanda, saying, this is all just a week ago to her, and I guess you're kind of seeing him. Yeah, he's like
starting to understand what she's going through.
Absolutely, man. So, Alan, what's your thoughts on like Vision now trying to almost like, it looked like he was actually going a different direction from Wanda. It looked like he was trying to almost separate himself. I think hearing all these stories about what happened to her and this, I think he's going right back in, trying to help out.
Yeah. Like, Darcy telling him the whole backdrop, basically your wife had to see you die twice, within a matter of minutes, right, in front of her. Made him realize that, and this wasn't even that long ago. To her, this was 3 weeks ago. Kind of made him realize what she's been going through. But it also made me, I think, gave me a theory as to why he doesn't remember. Like, they keep making a point to say he doesn't remember anything past going into the Hex. And I think it's because of whatever they were doing to him as part of Project Cataract. Like, they were trying to make a new weapon. I don't think they were just trying to bring Vision back online. I think they were trying to get rid of Vision and just have the body and then bring it back online with new programming. So the reason why he can't remember anything past the Hex was because those memories were probably deleted and taken out. And now he only remembers the aspect of him and Wanda that she put in his head. So it's making me wonder if that's the reason why he can't remember, and he's going to have to maybe be given those memories back so he can be made whole again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And then Sanj, man, to you, we get back to, like you had hinted at before when we see the superhero landing from Monica Rambeau. She's basically trying to convince Wanda, like, there's a plan against you and Vision. It's not even about her. That she feels like the director will do anything to pretty much bring this whole thing down. Wanda ain't trying to hear it. So, but then you also have Agnes seeing what's happening and coming in to be like, you know what, you're done. You're done here. We're going to take Wanda off. And I'm not sure whether to call this like the worst kept secret, because it was still a secret. It's just that we have a bunch of comic book fans that just know too much goddamn information.
It's almost impossible for us to know all this. It is impossible for us to know all the story, right? But we know that. But now we know for a fact, watching the show, that Agnes, Agatha, whatever her name is, has been manipulating things from behind the scenes. So everything kind of makes sense now, right? Pietro, everything makes sense. It's something that she's been doing. So now we still got to find out why. To what end? How does Sword, factor into it with what they're trying to do? Are they working together? Do they have competing agendas and everybody's fighting over Wanda and Vision and trying to manipulate them to do what they want? What's the quote unquote end game here?
Good one, Sanj. Yeah, so I mean that's what I was going to ask you guys today, because even though we got the Agatha Harkness thing, it was due from the day that she was casted as Agnes. Everybody was like, "Yeah, she's Agatha Harkness." They're like, nosy neighbor Agatha.
You got to fight the urge to like go down the rabbit hole and just read Wikipedia, because Wikipedia does have everything summarized for you. You know what I mean? But you got to fight that urge, because you want to still be, excited by the story and surprised by the story a little bit, and they're not going to take it directly from the comic book. They're going to take pieces and try to put together their own story for the screen there, right? So even if even the kids, where they come from, technically, I'm gonna do B's role today. The kids are supposed to be, taken from pieces of Mephisto's soul, right? And that's where they come from. So the kids are real, supposedly, but in the comic books, that's where they come from.
Mhm.
So there's even more trauma that could happen to Wanda. So are they going to do that? Are they not going to do that? So again, who knows where they're going to go with it.
Exactly, man. So let's go into like a little bit of of our own theories here of what's going to possibly happen, because we got a bunch of questions. So Al, what to your knowledge and your opinion there, what do you think is happening to the kids? Do you think that they're gone, the kids? Because when she went looking for them in the house, they weren't there. Definitely weren't in the basement.
Well, she didn't go upstairs.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't know. Like that's the part that's confusing. Like the only thing I can imagine is if she's recreating and rewriting reality. Are they looking for her? Like, are they recognizing that she's more powerful than Agnes in that sense, and they're trying to gaslight her into manifesting Mephisto? Like, is that what they're looking to do? Is that their? Because they can't be to run this hex all along. They've already got the two kids, so it couldn't have been to just generate and bring the two kids to life, because they've done that already, and they're still trying to control her. Because at the end, she didn't try to attack her. She just again brainwashed her.
Right.
So it doesn't seem like whatever they ultimately want from her, she's done it yet. So. Like, obviously they wanted the kids, but ultimately, are they trying to then, is that going to be the big end? Like, she actually brings Mephisto to reality. And then that's where because we all already know this leads into
Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange 2. So if that's the case, like, is Doctor Strange 2 dealing with her having brought Mephisto or whatever their end goal for her is? And then now he and her are now fighting whatever she caused. So, but I'm still at a loss as to what it is, man. That's why you gotta love Marvel. You gotta love Kevin Feige, because they have so many layers. You're like, it could be this, but it could be that too.
And Sanj, what's your that too also, man? What do you think is happening over here? Because listen, as of right now, Agatha has Wanda Maximoff downstairs in the basement. The kids are nowhere to be seen. There's this book that's glowing downstairs. No actual word on Mephisto or Nightmare yet. What do you think is like what we're gonna see in the next couple of episodes that's going on here in the background?
Well, clearly she has a power that they need, and only she has the level of power, but they need to manipulate her into doing it, right? If they asked her straight up, it might not be able to happen. It has to be something that she gets led to and conjures up on her own, but being led to it. So it just kind of is a natural progression. That's why you kind of see they set it up with Agnes behind the scenes, and you see her like pulling strings, like how she made Pietro happen at the right time, and this happened and that happened at the right time. She's being manipulated into something that she has to manifest or do, that in her mind it has to seem like she just arrived there to do it.
Yeah.
And then,
I think I'm agreeing with both of you guys on this one, because I do think when the kids were asking her to bring back the dog Sparky, I think it was Agatha who went to her and said, "You could do that? Like, you can bring somebody back from the dead." You know what I mean? Because that to me was like, maybe she's needing her to do that, which is bring Mephisto to life. So I do think it's either Mephisto or Nightmare still that's maybe going to be the big bad at the end. I'm sort of torn between something else also, which we'll bring up now, is a lot of people have been waiting for after end credit scene. And we haven't gotten one ever since. Even me, I did not know there was an after credit scene until after the fact, when I saw like,
ye of little faith.
I gave up after 6 episodes, man.
After 6 episodes, only 6 measly episodes you gave up. I sat through every single credits.
There's something here.
And you know what's crazy? You know what? How fucked up Marvel got me right now? Every movie, whether it's a Marvel movie
or not,
I sit there through the credits because I don't know.
I'm trying to still understand why there's 8 to 9 minutes of credits per episode.
Yeah.
Why is it 9
There's a
minutes
lot of people who
credits?
think. There's a lot of people who think that goes into making this shit happen.
Yo, no other
It's
show
just
so good, Al. It's so good, man. Dude,
So-
you know what's funny? You see the memes out there that the true enemy of WandaVision is the Please Stand By?
Please.
That's the villain right there.
No, when you think about it, right? I have sat through an entire hour of credits so far in this series.
Oh, Jesus.
An
For real.
entire hour for like the 30 seconds they just gave us last.
So wait,
Last
Sanj, when this
episode.
one actually had an end credit, did you react?
It was like Nirvana, achieving Nirvana. That's the
You're like, I knew it.
you're like yes, justification.
So you know what, Sanj? Since you had the faith in Marvel, man, Sanj, why don't you tell me first? What do you think is happening there? Because I thought Evan Peters was gone. I thought this Pietro was donezo after last week's episode.
Well, it looks like Agatha manifested him. So he's an apparition being controlled by her.
Okay.
Right? So it looks like she sees what he sees and knows what he knows. Like he's like a kind of like a robot out there, or a probe that she can use and manipulate as well, because she manifested him, right? So she has him running around still, so that she has some sort of protection, right? And for her end, it's a good thing that she did, because you still got Monica Rambeau poking around all over the place, right? So, but now, which begs the question: we still haven't gotten to how was Vision reanimated?
Yeah.
Who did it? So was it, now that we know that Agatha or Agnes, right? Agatha can manifest dead people, right? Or an apparition of a dead person. Is she the one that reanimated Vision?
Mm-hmm.
Is he a reanimation that she's doing, right? And because remember, the only two people that have had the facade drop is Vision and Pietro. When you saw zombie Vision for a few seconds there, and then Pietro as
Right.
well. So they're the only two that has happened with.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the
Ow.
and they're the two characters, the two main characters in Wanda's life, that she's grieving their death.
Mm-hmm.
So did Wanda bring Vision back, or did Agatha bring Vision back?
Interesting,
still
man. I
don't-
can't wait.
You know, that's what I want to know now. Like, how is Vision back? How did it happen? You know, and who did it?
Yeah.
Because this whole time we thought it was Wanda. But
Right.
remember, she can't control him.
That's right. Yeah. He can't die. Can't die though.
Right. And she couldn't control the kids. She couldn't control the Vision, and it looks like she couldn't control Pietro either.
Yeah.
She can hit him, but it doesn't look like she could control him.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Oh man. I mean, Al, what's your thoughts, man? What's your take on Pietro here and all this stuff that's going on?
Pietro, I think, is for lack of a better word for it, I think a minion of Agatha,
That's the word I was looking
and that's why he was still lurking around. But in terms of like Vision, I think Vision was restored. I think it's going to turn out that she didn't restore his body. That's what Sword had already done. Remember, they had the body for 5 years, so I think they restored the body, rewired it, rethink. Because remember, Darcy's line was they couldn't get him like powered up until he came in here. So I think they had already restored the body, done all the repairs and everything to the body.
Yeah.
The stone, I think, is just like an emerald to complete the look, but it's obviously not the Mind Stone. And then Wanda brought him back to life. Like whatever that last jolt or energy or whatever it needed, she provided it.
Well, she got her powers from the Mind Stone too, so she
Exactly.
has like some
That's
of
why
that
she
Mind
was-
Stone energy.
And that's why I think she was probably the one that was able to reanimate him and bring him back. But in terms of restoring him and making him look that way, I think Sword did that already in terms of bringing him back online as a weapon.
Now,
In terms of why she can't control, because that's not her ability. That's Agnes's. And if you remember, everybody else is being controlled by Agnes. So are everybody else. So when Wanda says, "Why aren't you doing what I want?" is because it's not what Agnes wanted them to do. So they're still being controlled, but they're being controlled by Agnes. And and those little tweaks are to further mess with Wanda's head in terms of getting her to do what they ultimately want, because for whatever reason they can't control Wanda to the point that they need to.
Wow.
So this whole facade is their creative. They're controlling everybody. Because remember, when everybody gets out of the control, when Vision brought out Norm, and when he brought out Darcy, they still see him the way he is. They didn't see Zombie Vision. So at first, I thought she was just, she was seeing him the way she wanted to, but it was like the dead body walking around. Right. But no, that was just like to mess with her and get her off balance.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Question before we move on. So, you think Sword put him back together, but when they had the video, when they were showing the security footage of Wanda stealing the body, didn't Vision look like he was still in pieces?
Yeah, I thought he was in separate parts on different tables.
Yeah, but I think overall he was still back together. Like they probably had the arms separated, the chest,
but it was all hooked up.
Torso.
Like they just had to physically just put it back together, but it was all linked up by wires or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, I think at that point, 5 years later, they had already restored him. To put the polish back on, so to speak. They just were trying to find out why he can't turn on. Look what wire maybe they missed or what connection they didn't get right. But ultimately, I think they had already made him look the way he is.
Yeah, man, this is gonna be crazy, man. I'm looking forward so much to Friday, man. I can't wait to see what they do.
It's crazy, and we can sit here and talk about it for forever.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Definitely can. Absolutely. And I do think that this week we will get a recap. I think we're going to find out what the cataract program was, what happened to Vision. I think we're going to see that this week. And then we're going to get into some kind of a crazy cliffhanger for the final episode coming 2 weeks from now. So, guys, you be on the lookout for that new WandaVision episode 8. We'll get back to you next week with our thoughts on episode 8 and what we think is going to happen in the finale. It's going to be a good time. We got 2 weeks to go to the finale. Oh, I love WandaVision. This has been so good. It's been so good, man. But listen, that's going to be our show for this week, man. I want to thank my two boys over here, Al and Sanj, as always, for jumping on and talking about all this stuff. You guys are fantastic, man.
Thanks,
so listen, coming from, I appreciate that, my friend. So coming out of Long Island, New York, we got my man in the chair, Al.
Have a good night, everybody.
We got my boy Sanj.
Good night, everybody. Be safe out there.
And we got myself, Hav, saying thank you as always for listening and watching and subscribing and making sure that we're on your podcasting apps every week. Thank you so much for that. We'll continue going on. And again, WandaVision episode 8 next week. Let's talk about it. Come back and we'll do some more. And we'll see you on the next episode. Until next time, people. Bang.